Hello and welcome to this wonderful interview with a lady who deserves a great deal of attention at the moment. Somebody who has been a resident of Bali for many years and who has made her mark not only on the hospitality industry through her restaurants Casa Luna, Indus, and her guest house, the Honeymoon Guesthouse, which sounds just wonderful. I've never had the chance to stay there. My honeymoon was too long ago. This is a lady who dedicated herself to helping Bali after the Bali bombings and is now continuing to dedicate herself to the future of Bali through her now worldwide known Ubud Writers and Readers Festival. She started the Writers and Readers Festival as a response to the Bali bombings to try and rekindle international interest through a particular market. While Bali itself doesn't have a literary reputation, more of a reputation for art, culture, tourism, nature, she managed to grow it from its very small beginnings to something which has got recognition worldwide. Congratulations to Janet DeNeefe, the founder and director of the Ubud Writers and Readers Festival. You have managed to keep it going for another year, Janet. Tell us all about it. How are you still managing to keep going?
Thank you, Alistair, for such a lovely introduction. You're more than welcome to stay at the Honeymoon Guesthouse, and you don't have to be on a honeymoon, okay?
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. It's too late.
So, yeah, we started the festival in response to the Bali bombings all those years ago, and the aim, again, was to boost the economy and to boost the faded spirits of the people. And of course, as you say, we started very small, very humble beginnings, and it has grown and grown and grown, as we all know, and become something incredibly exciting and of great economic value to Ubud and Bali, and an extraordinary networking kind of meeting place for all sorts of writers and artists, etc. So it's been a wonderful journey. And of course now with COVID, we're having to reimagine the festival and, as everybody, create a hybrid program, which, of course has its challenges. And last year was the first time we did it. So we were all newbies and, struggling and, how to keep up and how to be as good as we normally are of a high professional standard. So, it's the same this year, having to create this hybrid festival without an audience. This is, of course, an issue for us. So it brings its challenges, but at the same time, we understand we have a role to fulfill to help Bali in whatever way we can. And so if it means it's an online festival and sending the word out across the world, that's a good thing. And then, of course, we will also hold events on the ground, but this, of course, is just for our domestic audience. But nevertheless, I do hope these will be a very exciting part of the program, and that will once again also provide some sort of boost for the local economy.
Yeah, see, the influx of foreign visitors that brings the biggest economic boom. And at the moment, we're really not sure when Bali is going to reopen, are we? It seems to be going on and on, this difficulty. Hopefully, we'll reopen to fully vaccinated people. That could certainly work. Have you fulfilled the objectives of the first time around? Let's say we're really on phase 2 now. The first objectives having been really achieved. What would you think?
In terms of the overall festival, you mean, from start to now?
Yes.
I guess we've achieved objectives in putting Ubud on the global map and also on the global literary scene. Yes, we've done that. We've changed the emphasis of Bali, which was another part of our aim to, after the bombings, to take it away from, the beer scene and the bars and the beaches, etc., to bring it back to its rich cultural identity. I think we've done that. We've brought together writers, who've been networking and meeting Indonesian writers and publishers and other festival directors, because over the years we've had so many festival directors come to Ubud scouting for local talent or interesting talent. We've done that. We've brought people into Ubud, Indonesians as well as other creatives who have moved to Ubud solely because of the festival. That's, yeah, achieved that one. What else? The one thing, though, that I still want to develop more are the writers' retreats and the residency programs and the workshops that benefit young Indonesian writers. And that's actually what we're focusing on more right now, is how to further their skills and create the same sort of opportunities that writers from the West receive. So that's a bit of a priority for us now in this COVID era. How can we actually make our festival, you know, create more opportunities for young writers and established writers as well?
There is a strong worldwide rejection of reading, of course, Janet, and on to the worldwide acceptance that everything you need to know is on your phone, which is something else that we're all fighting against. Has that going digital helped to increase appreciation while you're doing these hybrids, or is that a temporary measure, or is that going to be something which you're going to continue to do now that you've discovered how to do the hybrids?
I think hybrid is here to stay. It's been incredibly interesting, and the fact that last year for the festival, we actually covered our running costs through our hybrid event, which we were so nervous. We thought we were going to spend all our last pennies on this event and lose everything. Well, we didn't. And I've really enjoyed looking at, you know, Instagram and IG Live, things like that. You know, my daughter Lakshmi has been running a book club on IG Live, and the engagement is really good. And I know that there's new people that have found out about us through that, mainly Indonesians, and that, I guess that's just been an overall focus for us during COVID, you know, how to connect with more young Indonesians. And, you know, if you want to do that, social media is the key, actually. So we've been experimenting with that and learning about all of that. It's fun. It's a whole new world, but we need to be a part of that. And of course, you know, with Indonesia, I think more than 50% of the population is under 30. So these are the people we want to be reaching out to, because that's our future audience. And why not? Because that's what I love about Indonesia. It's this really dynamic, vibrant culture, all these young voices, young people doing lots of amazing things. So we want to be a part of that journey.
A lot of them are very instant. You know, that wonderful word Instagram is all about instant gratification rather than reading a 700-page book. So we have to obviously fight a little bit against the 30-second soundbite. I appreciate very much that you are including them in your portfolio, your desires for the future. There is, of course, a slight conflict as well, because the festival is mostly in English for the international audience rather than being in Bahasa Indonesia, which is where the literary aspirations of the Indonesians will lie. Are you increasing the Indonesian content to satisfy this new audience?
Yeah, absolutely. And even on Instagram, we have a lot of other talk sessions, you know, connecting writers with other writers, and these are in Indonesian as well. So we have a very strong Indonesian program this year, covering really diverse subjects. So yeah, for sure, our Indonesian program is getting much stronger.
And the Young Writers program you started a few years ago is really part of this, including the retreats and residencies and trying to mentor people.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that this year with the Emerging Writers program. You know, we put it out there for young writers to submit their work, and we select, I think this year is like 15. And then those 15, we actually translate their work and publish it. But the second intake of at least 50 writers, they'll all be enjoying different workshops, writing workshops with translators, you know, again, with a number of different themes. And so we're just trying to move forward with offering these sorts of opportunities. And we're doing this all online anyway. So again, this has been really helpful for us. So there'll be all sorts of Zoom sessions, and we're also offering a mentorship program for established writers to help mentor younger writers. And this will take, this will be about, I think, a 6-week program. So yeah, we've been very lucky that we've had support from, you know, the Australian government and also the US Embassy through the Iowa Writers Program. I think people are just eager to help as much as they can in whatever way they can. So we've been really, really lucky. And of course, you've been a great support of us all the time. We love our dedicated sponsors. So, you know, otherwise we would not survive. I think people don't realise that we don't survive otherwise. Yeah.
Janet, for this year's program, give us the dates and give us some exciting names that we're going to see and hear there, so that we actually get this people excited now.
Well, the dates are 8th until 17th of October. And some of the bigger names are Amitav Ghosh, one of my faves. We have Julia Baird from Australia, who's fantastic. Her book is gobsmacking. We have Viet Thanh Nguyen, Vietnamese-American author, really impressive guy. Let me think. We have Ada Limon, who's a fantastic poet from the States. I'm trying to think of the other names we have.
That's a pretty good start.
Well, we have so many interesting writers though. We've got the bigger names who are fantastic, but then we have all the little threads, you know, and I think that's what one of the audience members one year said to me. She said, what I really love about your festival is I come here knowing that maybe 3/4 of the program or the writers list, she'll have no idea who they are. And then she'll leave with this whole new world of authors that are fascinating that she didn't know about. So yeah, this year we've really delved into the theme self-reflection and looked at it, you know, in terms of our own selves, our environment. You know, we've gone into the forests. We're talking about forest bathing. We're talking about deserted building sites in, you know, arid environments. Yeah, talking about ghosts. You know, just talking about all sorts of incredible things that somehow this year with COVID makes it extremely relevant. So I'm very excited about our really diverse program.
Self-reflection is certainly something we've all been doing during these moments, looking at who we are, where we are, why we are. So that's very good. 18th to 17th of October. Now, if somebody actually wants to come to Ubud and is able to come, will you be able to welcome them to the on-site events?
Yes, absolutely. So we will hold on-site events over both weekends, and we'll be holding films in the valley down below. Like we'll have a big screen in the valley, so COVID protocol observed. We'll be having some smaller sessions. You know, we'll be looking at local writers and local architects like Popodanis, people like that, Nilu Jalantik, you know, people on the island that are absolute heroes and change makers. So yeah, we hope to have a really interesting program for those of us who are in Bali.
And will Taman Baca be open as it was? So you will still have that center that people can go to and wander around and become part of the scene, which is really a great place to be and to meet people.
Yeah. And we'll overlap that, by the way, with the Ubud Artisan Market. So that will be planned to be running at the same time. So there'll be that sense of street food and interesting crafts and things like that. So yeah, we can still keep doing that sort of thing right now. I mean, markets are still open, and so that will be
very good.
Yes.
To close this wonderful conversation, just tell us one of your favorite moments from the last, how many years has it been since it started? 17, 18?
Oh, it's hard to think. There's so many favorite moments. I suppose one that will always stick in my head, though, is that the second festival in 2005 was held, I think, a week after the second Bali bombings. And so that's a year I will never forget, because it was like 6 days before the festival. So there was this absolute panic, like, what's going to happen now? And luckily, most of the writers did attend. And I was worried that the big names would drop out. But by chance, Amitav Ghosh was already staying at our place, and Michael Ondaatje was about to land the next day or something. So luckily we went ahead, and you know, the absolute camaraderie and just the beautiful feeling that went through all the writers in the community, just this sense of support and togetherness, a bit like now, I guess. It's a festival I'll never forget because of just the immense emotions and the sadness, but then the happiness. Yeah, that's one that will, for me, go down in history.
Yeah, we all thank you for being part of a very visible part of the rescue of Bali after the Bali bombings, and continue to champion the right way of looking at Bali, and we hope that will start to recover soon, because there's so many people depending on tourism for their income, and we know that there are a lot of people who are suffering right now, and so we hope that this will help. To all of the people listening now, book now. If you're a Jakarta resident, book now, get over there, enjoy every minute of it. Ubud is a great place to go to anyway, and if you've got something wonderful like this to go to, something meaningful like this to go to, you've got Janet DeNeefe to thank, and her team, who have done a great job over the years. On behalf of Now Jakarta, Now Bali, and all of my team, we'd like to thank you for including us in your marvelous festival. And we hope that we'll see you on the 8th of October. Whether or not there's going to be an opening ceremony in the palace, that will be, I'm sure, we'll have to see, but it doesn't matter. We will be there with you in spirit. Thank you, Janet, on behalf of everyone listening.
Yes, terima kasih.
Good luck and take care.
Thank you. Thank you.